very easy level. But if you win, like just in the real game, it'll take your high score. It'll take your picture for a high score. But one of the neat things he put in this demo is this. During that whole time, we recorded the video of what you're doing, kind of at a low res. So here's me playing that game, and you see me jump and do silly things. And you could do that. You could post a video of you playing on the web or something. You can imagine this being part of the feature of the game. And another thing we've learned is if you take the live video and you just alpha it in ever so slightly over with the graphics, just to give the person a reference, but not enough to distract you from the real thing you want to see, that's really a nice demo. So I guess I'll conclude my talk there and answer any questions. And I have more demos if you want to wait and see them afterwards, but I'll stop there. Hey.
What do you mean by a 3D camera? Is that a camera with two sensors with some disparity, or is that...
All right. Let's see if I can get this to work this time. I won't do it justice if I just describe it. All right. This is just not working today. There it is. So this is what I'm talking about. At every pixel on the right, we're getting the distance away the object is we're looking at. So it's an intensity level that we're showing it as, but it's really a depth measurement. And it does it with an active infrared illumination. So it kind of measures the time of flight of this infrared light. And electronics are fast now, so we can do this. This is an Israeli company that makes this camera. It's not our own technology. And what we really look at in our group is if such a device exists. This is an Israeli company that makes this camera. It's not our own technology. And what we really look at in our group is if such a device existed and was low cost and was in everyone's home, what would be enabled because you'd have that piece of technology. It's called 3DV Systems. The camera is expensive now. It was targeted towards like special effects companies, but green screens are really good for what they need. So switching them over to this wasn't easy. So here's the virtual green screen. This kind of thing they wanted. But you can see there's some, kind of blooming or whatever on the edges. So with a green screen, you can just use a really normal high-res camera and just make them not wear green. It's not that. They already have that down pat. So it has to be better than that for them to switch. So they have used it like in a on-the-spot newscast thing where they want to just drop out what's behind the newscaster and do stuff. But that's not as big a market. I think this market is a huge market for this kind of a camera to show up in. And so these just show demonstrations that we've made over the years that we had just a few days in their office with this camera, and we just changed our demos to use the depth information. So now I'm fitting these kind of boxes to my arms to show. We used to just find the arms in 2D. Now we can find them in 3D. And the way we used to do it was with background subtraction, where you have to step out, take it back, But with the Z camera, you don't even need that. The person is the only thing that's even there in the depth space you care about. So you have a really robust segmentation, and you have the depth information. Those two things together are huge. This was part of my talk I didn't get to. And then we can take that information, and now this is a virtual flight simulator we made to show off the procedural rendering of the PlayStation 2. We just hooked the control up now to your arms, and so you're like a bird. And you flap your arms. This actually has audio on the PC. You flap your arms. This actually has audio on the PC. Yeah. So if you'll see, there's a little shadow on the right. That's your shadow. So you are a bird. So when you flap your arms, the shadow's wings will flap, and you'll hear it flap. Yeah. And if I lift my arms up, I go up, and I put my arms down, I dive. And there's a lot of people who really thought this would be fun. And in our office, we have this giant screen, and if you stand in front of the giant screen and do this, it's really neat. One other thing, this is the same demo I showed you with the magic, only now I don't need a wand. I just use my hands. The way we do it is we just look for something in front of your torso a certain amount, and that's the thing you want to track. And this has this really subtle thing that's, I think, really important. Cameras are always on, kind of. And like whenever the balls move around, actually in Minority Report he did this little there's a little gimmick in there where he went to shake hands with somebody and shot a file across the desktop when he was doing his thing. I don't know if anyone caught that, but they put that in there. And that's the problem with it. It doesn't know when you want it to track you and when you don't. Well, with this, it knows you're addressing it when you reach out. When you put your hand back, it ignores your hand. When you reach your hand out, you're addressing and being able to address the computer and have it know when you're addressing it and when you're not is a huge, huge interface issue. So, yeah. You've seen these demos, but I'll get to some. So this just shows the fact that there's a guy in the background doing stuff. Doesn't matter at all. It's using the Z information. Here's a virtual pottery wheel. So imagine this is a pottery thing in front of me, and I just reach my hand out and I carve away. Or on that side, I extrude out the pottery, and on this side, I carve away. So this really shows it on on this side, I carve away. So this really shows it on pretty well here. You can see my graphics ability isn't that great, so this is one of my rough demos, but it gives you the idea of what we want to achieve. I think soon.
Is there a problem with flooding the room with IR, given that a lot of remote controls are IR?
It doesn't need. I don't think so. It doesn't need that much IR compared to like a light bulb. I mean, most people don't have 100-watt light bulbs worth of IR in their house, but I don't know. We don't think it's going to interfere with things too much. This is the last demo of this camera that I would show. It's showing something very subtle. It's tracking the color of the ball, the butterflies. But now when I put the ball behind my back, the butterflies go behind my back. And that's a huge step there, too. Compositing the graphics in. Now the butterflies are not just drawn over the top of the video like all the other demos. Now the butterflies are in the video, kind of. They're still not rendered as well as they should be, but they also don't know I exist. They could. We didn't program that. So they just drive right through me right now. They don't collision avoidance or anything. This demo didn't have this data before this, so all we're doing is drawing me in the Z buffer to block them out. You know, it's a very simple change to the demo that already existed, but that's all that we had time for. So this is a really, big step, in my opinion, the next step. The camera will get higher res, the camera will have better dynamic range, the camera will do all these other things for sure. But this is like a change. So here's just, again, I can address it, and it tracks what's out in front of me by 1.5 feet or something. And then if you do that, all the other butterflies are scared because you're reaching out at them. And the chief butterfly comes, and he lands on your hand and makes sure it's okay. See a little Z buffer fighting there, problem, but it's really fun to see somebody when we show this live. We have one of these cameras in our office. When we show that now, we do. When we show this live, you see people who've never seen this kind of technology, and they're really confused. There's nothing in my hand. Kids never have that problem. Kids have no problem with that. But to kids, the butterfly really is real, but it's just in the TV. That's the thing they think. It's a real butterfly, it's just in the TV. Okay. So, that's what I mean by the Z camera. All right. Since I have you watching and you seem... One other video using that same Z camera, I showed you we could do motion capture with color, but you can only do so well. Well, I can't see. Oh, it's already playing. Okay. So this is using the Z camera, but to puppet an animated virtual character. So you see Rishi, when he moves, the skeleton moves.
Step forward.
It tells you. So what's another really neat thing about all this is we actually, like when we demoed this, there's a physical space that the camera maps into now. There's a literal physical space, depending on where the camera is, of where you need to be. With a regular camera, you have this kind of scale thing that happens. You could be anywhere as long as you're in the field of view. But with this now, there's actually you can lay out tape on the ground and stuff. And it's kind of neat.